Hi, I'm David. Welcome to the channel. Today let's have a quick look at my pack list for a 4-day through hike of Karhunkierros.
You ready, dear?
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Should we do it then?
Yes.
Okay, welcome then. If you're new to the channel and find this interesting or useful, then please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. I recently made another video called Karhunkierros How To. You can find the link for that up here and also at the end of this video, which was made to help people who are thinking about doing the hike for the first time. This is to complement that really. It's my pack list of things that I took when I did the hike. That I can recommend and think that you'll need. First of all, I'll go through the things that I took, and at the end of the video you'll find a couple of items which I think are essential, which you'll absolutely need for this particular hike. You'll find timestamps here at the bottom, so you can navigate backwards and forwards at any point to any part that's of particular interest to you. And yeah, one other thing is that I've not been paid to promote any of these items. I bought everything myself, and all of these items are things that I've used and I like and I can recommend personally. All right, let's have a look. Right, first things first, if you're planning a 4-day hike in the forest, you're going to need something to take all your things in, a good backpack. So this is my trusty Osprey Atmos AG 65 litre backpack. Nothing really to say except for I love it and I recommend it. But take a backpack that's comfortable, make sure it fits properly, takes the weight, supports the weight on your hips, not on your shoulders. Make sure it's properly fitted in a good shop. But a good, comfortable backpack is the first thing you'll need. Next, you're going to need somewhere to stay at night, and you've got two options on Karhunkierros. You can take your own tent, which is what I did, or you can stay in one of the cabins, the log cabins. There are many on the route which you can choose from. There are pros and cons of each, and if you look at my other video, Karhunkierros How To, then I'll go through the positives and negatives of both options. We took a tent. This is my Fjällraven Akka RS3 three-person tent, a little bit large, 3.7 kilos, but then don't forget this is split between two people. So one person takes this in their backpack, the other person takes the cooking equipment and other things, so the weight is spread. So it's less than 2 kilos per person. So somewhere to sleep at night, tent or a cabin. Next, you're going to need some kind of sleep system. So a sleeping bag. Some people prefer a sleeping quilt. A sleeping bag. You don't need anything too heavy duty in Finland in the summer. It's nice and warm in the evenings, so you don't need anything particularly large or heavy. Check the forecast before you go. It depends on the time of year that you're there. It can be chilly in the autumn or in the spring. So a sleeping bag, there. Then you'll need a sleeping pad, something to sleep on. So there are many different types. This is what I have after trying a few. This is a Nemo Tensor, inflatable, regular length, and this is wide, so it's wider than standard. And it's very comfortable. That's a good product. It blows small and light to carry, but it blows up quite thick so that your hips don't touch the ground. It's insulated so the cold doesn't seep through from the ground. It keeps you warm at night. It's quiet. So that's very good. I like a good night's sleep. I recommend that very much. That's a good product. Something to sleep on. Then you'll need a pillow. This is my Trekology Aloft Pillow 2. very small and light to carry again. Packs into a little corner, but it inflates quite large, and it has a strap so you can fix it to your sleeping pad and it won't slide around in the night, it'll stay put. And I also have a pillowcase which I've adapted, put some Velcro on it so I can put this inside the sleeping pillow case, and pack it also with some extra clothes or things underneath to raise the level if I want to. So some kind of pillow system. These are dry sacks. They come in all sorts of different sizes. Take a few of these along with you because, for example, my sleeping bag I like to pack in one of these for the daytime. So when I'm hiking, if it does rain, the sleeping bag is going to stay nice and dry. So when you get into the tent at the end of the day, you have a nice dry sleeping bag to get into. So take some of those along with you. They can be useful in keeping your evening clothes and sleeping bag, sleeping system dry, for example. Something to sit on. That's it. That's all I take. It's high density foam, weighs nothing, opens out, and just gives you something a little bit soft and comfortable to sit on, but also insulates from the ground, so it keeps you a little bit warmer as well. That's all I need. I have a little bit of rope there with a loop so I can put a tent peg there and fix it to the ground. If it's a windy day, it won't blow away. That's all I take. That's all I need. Something comfortable, a little bit comfortable to sit on at the end of the day. Cooking equipment. That's it. Everything I need is in there, and that's for 2 people actually, cooking equipment. Basically all I need when I'm hiking this kind of through hike is something to heat water and something to eat and drink from. So in this I have this. That's it. That's all I need for 2 people for 4 days to prepare the food. So what have we got there? I'll go through it very quickly to save a little bit of time. This is the cook pot. So I have a number of things in there first. Let's look at that first. Wind filter, a little bit of insulation. I made that myself just to keep it warm. Also stops things from rattling around. And then open this up. Inside I have this little pot grip so you don't burn your fingers. I have a lighter to light the gas. I have an MSR Pocket Rocket 2, and I have a small gas cylinder, a 100 gram gas cylinder. And that's all I need. That's all I need to heat water for my porridge in the morning and my dehydrated meals in the evening. So how does it all work? Gas cylinder. This is a 100 gram gas cylinder, which should be enough gas for between 3 to 5 days, depending on how much you use it. Karhunkierros is 4 days, so you can decide if you want to take the risk and take that, or you could take a larger gas cylinder to be safe. That's up to you to decide how much gas you think you use, but 100 grams should be enough for typical use, a number of times a day for between 3 to 5 days. Pocket Rocket unfolds like that and screws onto the top. Very simple. This wind filter is by Optimus. It's titanium, I believe, so it's very light, and it simply clips around the gas cylinder like that. So that'll help to save a little bit of gas if it's a windy day and heat things up more quickly. And then the pot just sits on the top, and that's all I need to heat the water. This is a Stanley cook pot. I have got Toke's titanium cook pots, which are also very good, lighter. This is a little bit heavier. For some reason I keep going back to this. I like it. it seems to work well for me. It's well made. Everything fits inside nicely. So that's my cook system there, like that. Lighter to light the gas. I also have here a spark maker and some waterproof matches just in case this decides not to work. So I have a number of backup systems there. The pot grip, it's also magnetic, so it sticks if I need it, if it gets too hot. Then I have here sporks, titanium sporks, and these are long. That's quite important because the hiking meals, the packets are quite deep. I'll show you later. If you have a smaller spork, you'll have to get your hand inside the packet. It's going to get dirty and food all over your hands, but these fit nicely to the bottom of the packet, so you don't have to get your hand inside. They weigh nothing, and they're very handy. 2 sporks. This is a pot stand, clips open like that, and then the gas cylinder clips into that, and it gives a little bit more stability. So if you have a lot of hot water on the top, there's less chance that it's going to tip. Keeps it nice and stable. The only other things I have here are a bowl, sea to summit, opens like that, closes like that. Cutting board you can use it for, nice and light. I use that for the porridge in the morning. And mugs, sea to summit, pops open. It has a heat sink surface so that you don't burn your fingers if you've got hot coffee in there. And again, closes, nice and light, easy to carry, small to pack. So that's that. And then this is a coffee filter. This I like a lot. This is by GSI, and I like filter coffee a lot. And when I'm hiking, it's sometimes a little bit difficult. I always try to find a way to get good filter coffee on a hike. I use that. Either I can make the coffee in that, put the coffee in there with the water, and leave it, and then pour it through this, or this clips onto any mug, really. Very simply, put the coffee into this, heat the water, and then pour the water slowly through the coffee into the cup. And then I have good filter coffee. That saves my life in the morning. I don't become activated until I have my filter coffee. So that's that. Those are all very small, light things, fits together nicely, and that's all I need to get my food ready in the morning and in the evening. Food. There. And in this I have things like this. So these are just examples of what I took and what I enjoyed. Breakfast, I'd have these little packets of instant porridge, oats, just add water, wait 1 minute and it's ready. Very easy to prepare, very, very light and small. And you could also take, for example, dehydrated or dried berries, blueberries and berry mix to put in if you want. In Finland in the summer there are blueberries everywhere. You don't really need to take these, but if not, then it's an extra idea. Snacks, things like beef jerky, could be a little bit expensive. Also chocolate bars with peanuts in, for example, things like that. Nuts. And then in the evening, these dehydrated hiking meals, they're very good, very easy, very light. You just open it, put in your hot water, wait 10 minutes and it's ready to eat. And you can see that these are quite deep, so those long sporks, this is where they come in handy because you can get to the bottom of the packet without having to get your hand inside and mess up. These are very good. Just a selection: chili con carne, Thai red curry, chicken tikka masala, spicy pasta arrabbiata, that's okay, Apple crumble for dessert. Very good, very good. Maybe it's because I've been in the forest for 3 days, it tasted so good. But these are just simple, they're easy to carry. You just need to add water so it keeps your cook system nice and simple as well. Yeah, all very much recommended. You're going to need also something to carry your water in. 2 options. One is water bottles. Either you can buy a water bottle specifically made for hiking. They can be a bit heavy. Or use these. These are off-the-shelf water products. This one I brought back from Britain with me. You can't buy it in Finland, but this one, for example, you can. Off-the-shelf water bottles, and they've got the drinking cap on the top already. They last a long time. You can refill them endlessly and they weigh nothing, so they're a good option. Or a water bladder like this, which you carry in your backpack, also a good option. Both have their pros and cons. I like the water bladder because it keeps the water cooler in your backpack if it's a hot day, and it's easy at camp, for example, in the evening to fill this, and you have a lot of water at the tent. You don't have to go backwards and forwards all the time filling bottles. Disadvantage, if it's in your pack, you can't see how much water you've got at any time when you're hiking, so you could be almost empty and you don't know. Water bottles, you can see all the time how much water you've got left, but then if the sun's shining on it, it can start to heat up. I took both. I used these during the daytime for the hike, and then in the evening I filled the bladder, and that gave me a water supply at the tent without having to keep going backwards and forwards to the lake or the river. Hygiene and first aid. Toilet paper. Take your own toilet paper. There are dry toilets in Karhunkierros, for example, but I don't know where you're going. Take toilet paper with you. Bags, empty bags for rubbish. Take your toilet paper away with you as well. Leave no trace. Don't leave rubbish behind. I don't like that at all. A towel. This is a microfiber towel. It's very thin but quite absorbent, and this is smooth. It has a smooth surface, a little bit like chamois leather, not those tiny little loops. Don't take one of those into the forest, because the minute it touches the floor it'll pick up all the bits and pieces of leaves and you won't get them out. So this has a smooth surface. This is a cedar summit, and it's nice and light, easy to carry. And then my bag here. In this I have this. So what have we got there? Little toothbrush, folds up. Small toothpaste, thank you to the dentist for the free samples. A comb, a tick remover if there are ticks, some antiseptic cream, soap which is biodegradable, so you can use that in the forest, in the lakes, without harming the environment. That's important. And little wash leaves. These are very small, almost like rice paper. Put it on your wet hand, it dissolves, and it acts like a soap. But again, that's biodegradable. So those are very easy and light to carry. A first aid kit and a little travel washing line. That was really handy to put your towel on at the end of the day and dry it out, so you're not packing a wet towel away the next day. That's another Cedar Summit product actually. That's very small, very light. Took it into a corner, weighs nothing, very handy. Clothes. Don't overdo it with the clothes. You're hiking, you're not going to any parties, or you don't need many changes of clothes. I had 2 sets. I had my daytime hiking clothes. The only things I changed, I did take along extra pairs of socks and boxer shorts. Doesn't weigh that much extra, and somehow I like the idea of staying nice and fresh. It's not, it's only 4 days, so you don't need a lot. But then everything else, I just wore the same thing every day: trousers and a top, and sun cap to keep the sun off if it was warm. So those were my daytime clothes. They also included, you could take perhaps something like this, a down coat, which very light to carry, and it packs up very small, and you can put it in in a bag. I put it in my pillowcase at night for a little bit of height on underneath my sleeping pillow, because I like to be a little bit higher, and maybe a good raincoat if it's expected to rain. So a good quality raincoat you could take. That was that. And then in the evening I had my evening camp clothes, which again I had one set, and it was just something nice and light and comfortable at the end of the day after I'd get into the river and have a wash, and then put on my nice clean fresh camp clothes, which I could also sleep in if it was a little bit cold at night. That was that. Crocs for camp, can't think of anything better. Very light to carry, comfortable enough. You can get into the lake with them if it's a little bit muddy or silty bottom, and they're nice and easy to carry. So that's all you need with the clothes. Don't overdo it, keep it light. This shell suit material actually was very good. In the summer, if there are a lot of mosquitoes, they can't get through that. It prevents them from getting into your skin. And then there are just a few other little items that I've got here, which you might consider a lamp or torch. This one's rechargeable, Goal Zero Lighthouse Micro. It's very good, it's very nice, like it. In summer in Finland, you don't need it. If I'm honest, it's 24-hour daylight, but at any other time of the year, you might need something like that. A little knife, that's enough. It has a knife, a toothpick, a pair of tweezers, a pair of scissors, and some carabiners there extra. So you don't need anything more than that, if I'm honest. But of course, I took that because I like it. So it has a corkscrew. What more do you need? And carabiners, they're always useful for hanging things up. Little piece of cord to hang my backpack from a tree, for example. Keep it off the ground, keep it dry, easy access in the evening. Electrical equipment, so I have a little battery pack there to recharge my phone, the GoPro, cables, phone, and then some kind of, I have a Ziploc bag to keep it all in, to keep it dry if it did start to rain. So those are just a few other extra things that you might consider if you're going to do this kind of hike. Now I come to the maybe more important items. These are things that you really should think about and you will need when you're doing this kind of hike. The first one is some kind of water filter system. You're in the wilderness and the only water supply you're going to get is from lakes and rivers, so you're going to need to filter your water. It should be enough in northern Finland, for example. You could take also some tablets to kill the viruses, because these take away pretty much all of bacteria and small particles, but they don't kill viruses. I've never used them, I've only used this, never got ill. Nobody I know has ever got ill, so I think it's enough. There's this is the soya squeeze, highly recommended, very popular, very well used. There are also bottles where you can scoop the water in, it has a filter in it, you can drink directly from it. Fine, yeah, whichever you prefer. I use this because I can filter large amounts of water at the same time. It's much easier to do that. And I bought extra this CNOC Outdoors water bag. This is a dirty water bag to take the water from the water source only. It's very easy to fill with water. It's much better than the bottles that come with the soya squeeze, and it's developed for the soya squeeze, so this adapter, the soya squeeze, will screw straight onto that. So that's a very good extra product that I bought, and I've been very happy with that. But you will need some kind of water filter system to get fresh drinking water daily. That's what I use, that's what I like. Boots, and good boots that you've used and you've walked in them a lot and they're comfortable. Don't buy new boots and immediately try to walk or hike 80 kilometers, because you will get foot problems. So buy them, use them, and break them in before you hike. boots rather than trail runners or running shoes, I think, because the trail runners and running shoes have a very soft sole or bottom. In the forests, the tracks are many times full of tree roots and rocks, and they're uneven surfaces, and the bottom of the running shoes is very soft, so it doesn't give you any support. It can be quite uncomfortable or painful even to walk on those tracks. Whereas the boot has a very hard surface and it creates your own floor to walk on, so it doesn't matter what's underneath the boot. Many times you still have a flat surface to put your foot on. So I do recommend the boots in that kind of environment rather than the running shoes for that reason. Something to take care of your feet. There are these kinds of products. If you get blisters, they come in all different shapes and sizes. They're very good. If you start to get any hot spots, you can put them on immediately, and that will help a lot. So take those of different sizes. The toe ones I found were particularly useful for us. And then this Lucatape. Lucatape is medical tape. The point of this is that it's very sticky. So once you put it on, it's not that easy to rub off. So for example, if you put these on and then hike, they will rub off quite quickly. But if you put these on and put Lucatape over the top, then they're going to stay in place. But also if you start to get any hot spots on your feet, put this on immediately, and it gives like a second skin. So it'll prevent you from getting blisters in the first place. And yeah, it'll stay put. It's not going to come off. So that'll stay on throughout the day rather than peel or rub off. That's a very good product. So look after your feet. Mosquitoes. You will encounter mosquitoes. How many? It depends on many things. The time of the year, the weather conditions, how much rain there's been. So in the middle of summer, June, early July, I think you can rely on the fact that there are going to be many mosquitoes. Before and after that, it depends. So you'll need something to help with the mosquitoes. I was lucky, I went at the end of July, and in fact there were very few mosquitoes. That was just luck for us, I think. But what I took was this, some kind of spray to put on, keeps them away. Put it on a number of times a day. It doesn't work all day. So keep applying it. Neck, head, wrists, ankles, those are the vulnerable areas, and keep reapplying. Try not to get it on your tent, for example. I don't think this stuff is particularly good for tent material, so try and keep it away from your tent. Head net, if they're unbearable. I don't want to frighten you. It's not usually that bad, but if there are many mosquitoes, then a head net can help make life a lot more comfortable. So these weigh nothing, and it's worth putting in your backpack. Get a good one. You slip it over your head, tighten it up around your neck, and that keeps them away from your face. That could save your life. And this is a thermocell. Yeah, it's a little bit large and bulky. It doesn't weigh particularly much, but that is an excellent product. It works from gas cylinders, which screw into there, and you ignite it there, and it heats the hot plate. And here are some blue pads which you can change, and it creates a vapor. And these claim to keep mosquitoes away for a 20 cubic meter area, I believe. It works. It works. So in the evening, I'd light this, put it by the entrance to the tent on the outside, and it kept the tent area free from mosquitoes. It really did. So that's a good product. Not recommended for indoor use. I wouldn't put it inside the tent. I don't know if that's because it's a direct heat source or if it's because the vapor is not particularly human friendly. Maybe both. I don't know. Don't put it inside the tent, but keep it outside the tent by the door, for example, and that will help to keep the mosquitoes away. Trekking poles. Not essential, but highly recommended. Particularly the last day on Karhunkierros, you're going up and down a number of peaks. Some of them can be quite steep, almost a scramble where you need your hands, and when you've got a 15 or 20 kilo backpack on your back, you're quite top heavy, so these help to keep your balance. If you lose your footing, it can help you from stop falling over. They can help you to get a push up the hill. When you're coming down the hill, they can slow you down. These were very good. We bought these thinking they might help sometimes, but ended up using these all day, every day actually. And there weren't so many using these, and I don't know why, because they are very, very good. So I do recommend hiking poles for something like this. Makes life a lot easier. And then finally a map, a good map. Many of the tracks are very well marked. Karhunkierros is very well marked. You're not going to get lost, if I'm honest, but just in case. But the map will give you a lot of extra information that you won't find on online maps, for example. Where are the cabins? How many people can sleep in the cabins? Where can you put a tent? All this kind of information. So it helps you to plan your route or change your plans once you've started the route. So put a good map in your bag, and it could come in handy. That's it. I hope it's been at least in some way interesting or useful to you. I haven't reviewed anything here. I don't have time for that. That's for another time. But perhaps you picked up some useful information. If anybody else has done a hike like this and would like to add any comments that would be useful or helpful, then please feel free to put them in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and see you on the trail.